Hey guys, it's Britt, and I know I haven't made a video in a while, and I thought I would make one. So the Game of Thrones trailer dropped a few days ago, and I was super excited about it. I'm not gonna do a breakdown or anything. I'm really excited about season 8, and I don't want to know a lot about it going into it. I'm um I'm excited and nervous. Um and I noticed or became aware of a few different things that I probably, if there's anything that season 7 taught me, it's don't go on Twitter immediately after episodes because um it's not, it takes the fun out of all the season watching experience for me, at least. I don't know if that's other people's experiences as well, but for me, season 7 was the first time I was really on Twitter for Game of Thrones, and I realized that I started thinking really um negative thoughts that as a result of being on Twitter, I was I was thinking about if thinking about certain things in a way that I normally wouldn't think about them, which is good in a way and is bad in other ways. I You guys know I don't like echo chambers. I know that a lot of my opinions are super unpopular, especially when it comes to Game of Thrones. I know, and I definitely don't want everybody to agree with me because that would be a ridiculous standard, and conversations would be very boring if everybody just like agreed or liked the same characters that I like or share the same points of view that I have about certain people. I think that would be boring, but I'm probably going to at least make the attempt to not immediately tweet out thoughts or go on Twitter after the episodes air because it did make me feel very upset about season 7, and because everybody else was kind of saying, oh, season 7 was really bad, and I started thinking that season 7 was really bad. I, like I said, I had never really experienced um, social media when it came to Game of Thrones before season 7. Um, so that was a completely different, wild experience for me. Um, and it made me really dislike Dany as a character, which was very strange because, I mean, I know I don't talk about her a lot, and if you go back um, in my channel, you kind of do get to see like this switch where for a while I was on the Dany hate train. I would talk smack about poor Emilia Clarke, um, because everybody was like, she's such a bad actress, and not because I was saying that to go with the crowd, or at least not consciously saying that to go with the crowd, but I didn't realize that social media could affect me in that way. And it kind of scared me a little bit, to be honest, because here were characters where I was really passionate and I really loved them. And just because I saw a lot of people on my Twitter feed saying really negative things, like, oh, Danny just wants to burn everybody, or like, oh, there she goes, she's burning people again, she's gonna go crazy and she's gonna be a villain. And I was like, oh man, Emilia Clarke, she's a bad actress, she's bad, which I don't agree with now. Like, I don't. Um, I think she's a very good actress, and I don't think that people give her enough credit, considering what she has to go through to play Daenerys. A lot of her role is played in isolation, in front of green screen, sitting on a mechanical contraption. And when you don't have other actors or actresses to interact with, it makes your job a lot harder. And I think poor Emilia Clarke deserves more credit than a lot of people give her. And I don't know. I'm not gonna cut social media or not talk about it, because me not talking about Game of Thrones? Are you, that's not possible. But I'm going to try to not let negative things affect me this season, because I love this show, guys. Like, I know it's not the books, and I know that a lot of people take issue with how different it is from the books, but this show means a lot to me, and I don't want my last experience with it to be tainted like season 7 was. For one, I was an idiot and I read the leaks. So that's my fault, because I went and I read the leaks for season 7 thinking, "Oh, there's no way. Like, there's no way that could happen." And boy, was I wrong. Because for the most part, those leaks were very true. And I don't want that for season 8. I don't mind looking at promo pictures. I don't mind looking at out of context photos. But like scripts or potential scripts or whatever have you, no go. No go. There's lots of personal reasons that I really love this show. And I'm not saying that you have to agree with me on this, but like, I just don't want to let the negativity get to me in the same way that it did last season. And I want to take that and I want to make it a learning experience, and maybe have some people look at things maybe a little bit differently than they would have otherwise. I don't know. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to do. I'm not saying just like don't tweet the things on Twitter, because you know your girl has no filter. So I don't know. Like, I'm very excited for this show, and I'm just very scared that the negativity surrounding it already, and it's not even out yet, and that makes me nervous. And like, for those of you who don't know, I'm disabled. I have cerebral palsy, and a lot of people with CP have hyperfixation, which means that like we fixate on something, and we um and I mean, this is just my personal experience and doesn't apply to everybody, but um but you see it with other things beyond Game of Thrones with me. I mean, like, that's why I'm able to watch John Wick over and over and over again and not get sick of it. It's why I can reread uh The Beach or the entirety of the Raven cycle. I get fixated, and it fascinates me, and it's why I can rewatch the seasons over and over again, because there's something, my brain is wired to do that, to take the things that I really love and fixate on them. And I know that sounds not great, but it's something out of my control, and I really love the things that I love, and I don't look at it as a negative. I feel like that might explain a lot. You know, like, I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Like, I put out a tweet a little while ago, and that's kind of what inspired me to make this video. Like, I'm not apologizing for how I am, because I can't help it. Like, I was born this way. It's like me being a lesbian. Like, I can't help it. It's just what I am. But I don't know. Sometimes it makes me feel bad, like, because there are parts of it where the hyperfixation can be good, but also it makes me get lost in my own head a lot, and sometimes my head is not the greatest place to be in, and it makes me feel guilty about a lot of things, like um, talking about things that I like nonstop, and it makes me feel like I annoy people, which, I mean, I don't like to think that I do, and if I did, I hope that they would tell me, but like, it's super embarrassing sometimes, because I don't really talk about it, but I get like, I love that I'm passionate, and I love that people come to me and they say, "You're so knowledgeable about these things," and that means the world to me, but it's only because I hyperfixate that I remember the things that I do. It's because I reread and I watch over and over and over again. And sometimes I think that that's a bad thing. Um, and it doesn't prevent me from going out and living my life. So maybe it's really not that big of an issue, but it's, like I said, it's just hasn't been the best day for me mentally, I guess. And I'm to perk this up. I'm really excited about Game of Thrones coming back, and I'm curious to see who's gonna live and who's gonna die, and if Bronn finally gets his stupid castle. You guys know I don't really care for Bronn as a character, but I guess he at least has earned a castle. At most, I guess. I'll give him that. I'm content with whatever HBO gives us. I know that a lot of people are really upset about run times maybe being shorter than originally anticipated, and like that's fine, but like HBO at the same time, they know what they're doing. They've had the number one spot on television for the past 11 years. Like, they know how to put on a good show. And I know that the people on Twitter shouldn't bother me, but sometimes it's really hard to not take all that crap and put it into account. And, like, a lot of my friends have gotten into Game of Thrones because I'm so passionate about Game of Thrones. And that means the world to me. Like, it sounds silly, but there's not a lot of people that share my interests. I have some very unique interests. I play piano, um, which isn't all that unique, but look, I sew historical costumes by hand. I love cosplay. I love researching fabrics. I love sewing. I love the Tudors. I love Marie Antoinette. There's not a lot, but I have you guys, and you guys listen to me ramble about a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate it. And like, I really do. I'm really trying to hold it together. I know that sometimes I get on here and I get really teary-eyed. And maybe I shouldn't make videos on my bad days, but I try my best to be as real as I can with everybody on here. And I just want you guys to know that I appreciate everyone that watches these videos, and the friendships and the connections that I made, whether it's that we just tweet back and forth on Twitter every so often, or if I talk to you every day on Boxer. It means a lot. And I'm sorry if this is like, this seems overdramatic, but like, I'm just really nervous that I won't be able to drown out the negative this time around. And I don't want this show to be ruined for me. Like, the books are the books, and the show is the show, and that's that. And I know that, and I know, I know, but like, when I went to school, I studied a lot of film, and so I understand all the work and the time and the effort that goes into creating things like Game of Thrones, and I feel bad when people are just like, well, season 7 was rushed. Okay, maybe it was a little rushed, but that doesn't make it bad, or, well, it deviates from the book, so it's bad. No, it's just different. But I've gone on for 20 minutes. I should probably cut it around here. Um I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully the next video will be a little tad more happy. And I won't film on a bad day. So anyway, guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.